I know. It's not the best series, okay? It's not like the worst series, also, but at the same time, it does have a lot of gems within it. And one of these gems is the final fight, okay? It wasn't since Mandalorian that we saw some real sparks, some real excitement come to the Star Wars franchise. I still remember like staying up and watching the Mandalorian premiere and realizing like, oh my god, this is what Star Wars has been missing. It was like it literally was a Star Wars western, and it felt fresh, it felt new. It felt like this was the beginning of what's to come. So when Kenobi was announced, when Obi-Wan Kenobi was announced, everybody was pretty excited, right? We were all excited because this is it. This was something that everybody wanted. They wanted that what happened to Kenobi after, Revenge of the Sith story, and this was it. This was finally happening. And unfortunately, it did what everybody was hoping it didn't. It was lame.
Not that I asked you, bold boy.
Now, I was watching some lightsaber duels on Saturday morning, which, you do, obviously. What one does on a Saturday morning is we watch lightsaber duels. And I was going through, all the great ones, Luke versus Darth Vader, the Empire battle. And then you had, of course, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, which I think that will go down as my favorite duel. Like, it's short, but man, when he comes out of the gate, he's ready to take on old Hornhead, right? Like, oh my god, it was great swordsmanship, sword fights. They didn't have a lot in the original trilogy, not too many, but when it came to the prequels, George definitely made sure that these sword fights, these lightsaber duels, were something to remember. But then I stumbled upon this fight scene, the final fight scene when Obi-Wan is going up against Darth Vader in Kenobi. And I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like the first half of it, when they're like exchanging force blows and everything like that, it wasn't that bad. It starts off with Darth meeting up with Obi-Wan on a very, very, very dark planet. Like, I had to turn my brightness up in order for them to just see like what they were like, if they were blinking or not. Probably it was dark so they can make the lightsabers look a little bit more brighter, more vibrant, and more dynamic. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm trying to see some emotions right now. I'm trying to see some emotes. Give me a moon or a volcano or something, trying to see some emotion. uh you know but I just had to squint. I had to squint at the screen for a minute. But at the same time, anyway, as the fight moves on, Vader does the whole like forced ground thing. Even my son does this sometimes. It's like, I think it's a universal move. It's like when they like pound the floor and the whole floor cracks and causes a crater. Vader buries Kenobi into the crater thing that I was talking about, and he uses his memory of little Leia and little Luke to kind of force push the debris off. I would have gone a different way. I would have, maybe Qui-Gon could have like appeared next to him and be like, "What are you doing? Use your strength," or something like that, or kind of just use the Force, like, bring. It should use the yeah, like something like that. I don't know. He just met these kids, and I guess the idea of him passing would leave them unprotected. So I guess that's what the strength came from, is he needs to be there in order to protect them, and he summoned the power. In the power he summoned raises the rocks, and he goes and chases after Darth Vader. And so then we get the second half, which is when Obi-Wan just unleashes on him. This is when Kenobi, though, turns on the juice. He turns on the juice, pulling out some like backspins, and then he goes in for the kill with this like thrust punch into like Vader's chest plate, which I was like, whoa, I don't remember him doing that. He's going after blood. He's going after it right now. And then he starts tossing boulders at Vader too. He's like this is when we realize, okay, Obi-Wan is a master. He's the reason why he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. And when he goes in for the final cut, he damages Vader's faceplate. revealing to us Vader's face underneath the faceplate, and we see Hayden Christensen all messed up and mangled as Darth Vader, and it's a very powerful moment. I mean, like, again, this wasn't the best series, but coming from Star Wars and being a Star Wars nerd, this was really cool. I mean, I thought it was really cool to just see, like, underneath the faceplate, and the damage done to the voice is kind of like crackling, so it's like going in and out from Anakin's voice to Darth Vader's voice. So you kind of have this dual personality, which I think plays a lot into Anakin's psychology in the sense of how he became Darth Vader, how Darth Vader was always within him. The sorrow that is Darth Vader, the sorrow that is Obi-Wan having to live with the regrets and the guilt, not seeing the changes happening. He can blame himself for allowing Anakin to be caught up within Palpatine's grasp. It's funny, man, because, like, with all these fantasy stuff, these fantasy films, these fantasy movies, everything like that, we can always find a relatability to it. And in Star Wars, when it comes to Anakin Skywalker, the relatability is that anybody can fall into darkness. Even when we think that they are the most sound, they're the most genuine, emotions have a power over them that some of us can't see. And so in Anakin's situation, Anakin Skywalker, that in this day and age, we can relate to it because he's an example of what can happen if you allow your emotions, mostly negative, to take over.
I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan start to just get extremely emotional. Like, we remember how Ewan McGregor is just a great actor. Ewan McGregor is a great actor. And there's a reason why he was picked to be Obi-Wan. It's because he can convey that emotion, that wisdom, that maturity, that elegantness that is required for this character. And in this situation, you see all of that sorrow, all of that guilt when he sees Anakin underneath that hood. It hits him, man. It hits him, and he has nothing else to do but apologize. He has nothing else to do but, what's the word I'm looking for? His apology comes across more as a plea, more than a confession, because he's not necessarily just saying it. He's pleading something like, please just accept my apology. I'm sorry for everything. But the thing that really tripped me out the most was,
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
allowing the dark side to take over. I mean, this scene is a lot more than just a fight scene. And again, like, they saved the best for last, right? Because throughout the whole series, it's like crazy antics, like him smuggling Leia in a large trench coat, or the whole Riva thing, which there's so many different side things that are going on, instead of trying to understand this man and what he's going through, and trying to get an introspection on this hero who has fallen, this Ronin, almost this lost samurai who is trying to reconcile with this guilt, losses, because he's lost so many. Not just Anakin, he's lost teammates, he's lost family, he's lost himself, and it's not truly expressed within the material. We don't really get that out of Obi-Wan. We don't really get that out of Kenobi until the final episode, when we see him going up against Vader, and he releases all of that. And I, for one, just thought it was amazing. I thought it was quick, but at the same time powerful. I loved the visual effects. I loved when Vader tells him that, I killed Anakin Skywalker. The lightsaber from Obi-Wan's illuminates his face in shock, and then you cut back to Vader, and it's red from his lightsaber. And there's all these different visual elements that add to it, and I understand now why they chose such a dark setting for this fight scene. But I mean, at the same time, you still could have had like some kind of light source to just kind of give us some type of horizon field, man. But that little segment opens up a whole new can of worms when it comes to the psychology of Darth Vader, of Anakin Skywalker, and the sorrow and the pain that is entailed with this story. So happy to be back on the YouTube. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and hit the like button as well as subscribe, so that way I can get to the algorithm and spread more of these messages around for those to hear, because I think we need to go back and check it out. Maybe go back and check out Kenobi. I'm sure there's like super cuts out there of the show that make it even better. But for me, this last scene definitely kind of tweaked my interest, because again, it was just like, whoa, these lightsaber fights, they were good. They were good. They caught me off guard, and at the same time, it intrigued me to see how they portrayed Anakin. I mean, they've always portrayed him as this guy who kind of like slips into darkness, but to me, I feel like that darkness has always been with him. I mean, like from the beginning. But like I said before, I hope you really enjoyed this little quick discussion on this video. And let's go ahead and check out Kenobi one more time. My name is Tarek Bryant. This is Nobody Asked But, and nobody asked me, but I think you should just watch lightsaber videos every Saturday morning, because they do make you feel better. And also like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that way you can stay in the loop with every new video that comes out on this channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Nobody asked you, bold boy.